Hello and welcome to Sensible United, a brand new Manchester United podcast. In the sea of sensationalism and clickbait, we are aiming to offer reasonable, rational, and some might even say sensible discussion around Manchester United Football Club. My name is John. I've been a United fan since the mid 90s. I really grew up with the glory years of the 90s and the 2000s until Fergie retired and ruined my adulthood. I'm one of many voices that you'll be hearing in this podcast. And today we have 5 people in on the discussion. So we'll just start introducing everyone that's here. And I think we should begin with Andre. How are you?
Hi, mate. Hi, guys. I'm Andre from south of France, and I've been a United fan from the end of the 90s. And as you can guess, with me being French, I came interested in United through Eric Cantona. And I guess same experience as you, John. We are the same age, roughly, so period of glory days that we didn't realize how lucky we were, how blessed we were. And I guess now since for the last decade, we've been paying the price of that golden era.
Yeah, no, that's true enough, isn't it? On the slightly younger end of the scale, we've also got Benjamin with us today. Ben, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you. Yeah, fair bit younger than the rest of you lot, so I've not got any of the good memories, really. I only really started supporting them, like, maybe 2006, 2007. It's mainly watching Match of the Day, watching this explosive, high-flying team doing so well. I got the title Glory supporter quite a lot, and I miss those days, let's say that much. But yeah, my whole family was Arsenal. But I said, you know what? I don't want to be Arsenal. I want to be Man United. And one day, we looked at it, and Man United were playing Arsenal soon. And I went, whoever wins that, I'm going to support them. Thank God for Wayne Rooney, because I'm on the correct side now. But yeah, annoyingly, I've not really got much memory of watching us being good. I watched the 2008 Champions League final, and that's the earliest I can remember. And after that, it's just been for the last decade is what I can remember the most, which is not a great time period, but, you know, it is what it is. We pay the price, as you said, of our recent glory, and now we just have to stick out a little bit and at least try and be a bit sensible along the way.
No, that's it. It's a different perspective to maybe some of the rest of us that are on the show, but it's all welcome. And yeah, you'll certainly bring a lot to the discussion. So we're glad that you're here. We also have Michael with us. Michael, how are you tonight?
Hi, all good, John, all good. So my United journey, I was a bit maybe older than a few of you guys. I was born in '87, so my United sort of came from my dad. Pretty much, he's a big United fan. He's a season ticket holder. Basically, I was born into it. Me and my brother, like you two guys, Andre and John, grew up just winning, 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 winning. Didn't know any different. And then the last sort of 12, 13 years has just been, it's been tough. It's been tough, but you have to take that, good comes from the bad. Our time will come again, hopefully, and hopefully it won't be too long.
That's it, and it'll be so good when the good times come back. Last, and by no means least, on the discussion today, we have our good friend Tabo. Tabo, how are you?
Good evening, gents. Good evening. My name is Tabo. I am from South Africa. My United journey, my interest in the club came when I was only 13 years old, and a blonde South African guy called Gary Bailey was playing for United. That fascinated me. I was in South Africa, and this guy is from my country, and he's playing for Manchester United. So yeah, that's where the interest grew. I was not a fan at the time. I just a club to keep an eye on. They won the League '93, and that's when I started keeping an eye a little bit more. Eric Cantona came. He was a big star. And what happened in Crystal Palace just, increased the profile of the team and the noise around it, and I just started following. They won a few more leagues after that, and by the time 1999 came around with the treble, I was fully into the team. The bug had bitten. I was a United fan. So yeah.
I think it's quite funny, the parallels. I think John and Michael have a similar experience through their father, and you and me, Tabo, have similar experience. You with Bailey and me with
A little bit,
Cantona.
yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I love this kind of getting together and chatting and kind of learning how we all found the club or how the club found us. I think that's fascinating. And really, Andre, you're the one that's actually responsible for bringing us all together in this collective. Can you tell us a little bit about how Sensible United came together and what people can expect from the show, from the podcast?
Well, I guess I have to go back to why I came on Twitter. I've always liked one thing about United is how this club can bring people together, and I've always liked that, like going to the pub and meeting people and bonding. And at some point, I tried to do that with Twitter when I read some tweets from some people and I thought they were interesting enough. And then after a few time on Twitter and experiencing some negativity, some sickening negativity, I saw some interesting accounts, some people that stood out in the sea of negativity, and felt we had quite a similar view on things, take on things. So I felt we could go along together quite well, and I created this group. And honestly, I was amazed by how the chemistry took and how we all bonded and became virtual friends, but also friends in real life. Like John, I was very fortunate to be welcome in your house, and we met at Old Trafford with some other people, and every time we had a blast. We just enjoy each other company, and that group was quite helpful because I see it as a safe space where we can support each other, try to be positive, try to be sensible. Of course, we are not sensible. We are as stupid as anyone can be, but we try. We try to be balanced. We try to be nuanced. We try to look at things with a perspective, with a context. And that's very helpful with regarding supporting United, but also with making friends and meeting people.
Yep, just sort of, I pointed something like what Andre's saying, even for like our listeners, you know, we obviously are a like-minded group, people with quite similar personalities and we kind of see things similar. But people have this idea probably that we all just agree with each other and everything's always positive. But like in our group, there is disagreements, there is different opinions, but people is not hounded out for having a different opinion. They're listened to, they're respected, they can see where the person's coming from. We'll never always disagree. You can't, a group of people, always agree on everything, but I think that's kind of the beauty of the group that we do have.
That's it. There's been some pretty robust conversations and discussions within the group chat, and despite that, it's been healthy discussion. It's been helpful discussion, and it's been respectful as well. And I think that's probably kind of one of the main aims of this show is to allow people to share these different viewpoints and do so in a respectful and not anger inducing way, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. But also we can have Benjamin's take about that because he pops in and out when he can, but we really enjoy his input and his views.
Yeah, so like you said, I pop in and out when I can because I work somewhat in the industry, so I at times will just disappear for like 3 months, which is a bit of fun. Then I come back, wind you guys up, talk about how much Dallo is the best player in the team right now, his future captain. But nah, I joined a few years after the rest of everyone because I did a lot of just standard player profiles where I didn't really put much opinion into it, but I tried to keep it somewhat level-headed, I'd like to say, and that is what sort of introduced me to a few of you guys. You brought me in. It's been great. Like I said, we've talked through a lot of stuff, not just Man United. It's been great to have just a community of people to talk to, and at the end of the day, it's something that we fall back on that one discussion, which is United. And as we mentioned before, it's a safe space for a lot of us. I know that when I do drop in and out, when I do pop in, I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have some good conversations with people. People are going to hear me out. They're going to call me out for what I say, because I do like to wind people up, as I have seen some grimaces, as I've mentioned, that the D word. But yeah, like you said, it's a bit of fun, and it's just a great bunch of guys. We're going to try and meet up whenever we can, and that's the thing, is it's a community, and hopefully that's how it stays.
Absolutely spot on, pal.
I've always liked the idea of fans coming together and having like balanced, respectful debates around the club. When you brought me in, I was very glad to find a community of guys that love the club, but also the idea that we could disagree and do it respectfully. Yes, we could disagree respectfully. We could, and here's the thing: sensible does not mean relentlessly positive, does not mean we don't moan about the club, does not mean we don't disagree amongst ourselves. We do, but when we do, we
Hey Reds, John from the future here. Unfortunately, Tabo's microphone cut out while he was in the middle of making that point about being able to disagree with each other respectfully. So you'll just have to believe that that is very much the case. And in the meantime, we'll get back on with the show. Okay, so yeah, that's probably enough talking about us, ourselves, and who we are and what we do. We say we're here to talk about United. So after 2 weeks off of an international break, United have an actual football match coming up. And not just any football match, it's Liverpool at Anfield. I think it's safe to say that we've had an up and down start to the season, probably more down than up, generally speaking, but positive result against Sunderland coming into the international break. Liverpool, on the flip side, won their opening games despite not playing terribly well, but managed to get the results until the last 3 matches before the break, and they managed to lose all 3 of them. So it could be said that the break came at a good time for them, whereas maybe for us it didn't let us build any momentum after the Sunderland game. Who wants to come in on that and kind of discuss form, quote-unquote narrative leading into the match?
No, but you said one of the most important things. It's a shame that international break came at that moment, because Liverpool experienced 3 losses in 1 week, and I really would have liked to play that game at that moment. Come on, you can get tougher than Liverpool at Anfield. So I wish maybe we could have played that game later in the season, and not now when, as you said, the former has been up and down. Plus, I don't trust much the referee. I think that was him who sent off Dalot a few years ago for nothing, literally nothing. So, yeah, I'm not very confident. But how important winning that game would be for Amorim to win back-to-back games, and winning such a game would push the team away.
No, that's it. Tabo, do you have kind of anything to add kind of on the form and the lead up into the game?
Yeah, I was saying, I'm surprised we're starting on this, because I want to say, first and foremost, I'm not manager out, I'm not Amarim out, but I am one of those fans who would say that our manager, our coach has zero balance. And this would be a perfect game for him to start building.
You're joking. Not another one?
Yes, another one. Unfortunately, at this point, Tabo's recording cut out completely with a click, a strange noise, and a shout, and we didn't hear from him again for the rest of the recording. We have found out he is okay. He's absolutely fine. It's just the recording cut out on him and he got a bit frustrated about it, which is totally fair enough. So unfortunately, we didn't get to hear the rest of what he was about to say there. So hopefully on another podcast in future we can get to the bottom of it and find out exactly what it was he was trying to say. So it was just the four of us left to finish up the show from this point. I think we'll try and kind of just keep rolling. Ben, Michael, does either of you want to kind of come in on sort of
Go on.
lead up form, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead. It's difficult because, I mean, our last two games have been weird. We haven't lost at Anfield for a few games. We've only lost 2 of the last 5. The difficulty is those 2 have been 7-0 and 4-0. So kind of stick in your brain a little bit. But yeah, like we've said, the international break was a really bad timing for us because we've just got that win against Sunderland, pretty convincing one. Liverpool just lost their 3rd on the bounce. The only thing that I would say perhaps is a somewhat positive to it is a lot of our players didn't go on international break because we've been pretty poor for a while. So it's given quite a few of our players a good chance to just have a week, 2 weeks to prep for this one match. So you've had the likes of Lamont who didn't play at Belgium, so he could have fully focused on that one. You had the likes of Mason Mount, who I think will be quite key in this game if he does play. He didn't go on international duty, so he's getting himself ready. There's little bits where you look at it as a negative, but there could be some bits that do help us in there as well. I'll talk about the tactics, everything down the line later. But the way that Liverpool play this season and the way that we play under Ruben, they do fit each other quite nicely.
I think what you're saying about Mount is interesting because surprisingly, I feel he's been one of our best players this season. When some of our best moments on the pitch were when Mount was playing. So I hope he can be useful again on Sunday.
You know, he's a player that likes to play everything quickly, and a Liverpool side that they do play with that high line. We've got likes of Mbumo, Sheshko, they can all run in behind. I think that he could be quite key, especially since Liverpool aren't quite there yet in terms of their new squad structure. They don't play out the back very well. I mean, I say that, then they were top of the table a couple of weeks ago, so you can't criticise too much, but they're not quite where they were in terms of like nuances of playing out. So Mount, who is just a pressing machine, who has found his feet in this system, could be quite key in this matchup.
That's it. I think we can just kind of keep this rolling kind of into sort of more wider tactical or game plan discussion, and just kind of picking up on what you were saying there, Ben, with the way like Liverpool are pushing their fullbacks so high up the pitch. It seems to be kind of a bit of an area of weakness for them that teams have picked up on and exploited, and I think that probably plays into our hands quite well, does it not?
Oh, for sure. So their fullbacks were always really important to their system under Klopp. We saw them quite often sit in those deeper areas, just spraying balls around, hitting crosses from deep. Their fullbacks are not that anymore. So Kirkes, and whether it's going to be Ramsey, Szoboszlai or Frimpong on that right-hand side, they're more ball carriers. They're players that will pick up the ball from deep and they'll run with it. So it means that their build-up is very different. Their midfield is a completely different structure to what it was previously. We've had issues with our midfield, but they seem to play more of a 2 in midfield as well. So they have been hit at times on counter-attacks centrally, but also with how we play, we like to go 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 on the wing areas. That's where their weaknesses have been found this season, especially behind Kirkes, has been hooked off the pitch half-time a few times. Frimpong hardly getting games, the Szoboszlai playing out of position. That is definitely an area of weakness that we can look to exploit, and it's somewhat an area that we have looked okay at times. We've got good patterns of play out there. It's just those finding the central areas which will be difficult, considering Liverpool, how they like to play it is they'll go 2v1 in the central areas. So you'll have likely Kanate and Van Dijk on Sheshko. That's a difficulty, is finding Sheshko's feet. That's something we've struggled with for a few years now, is finding that striker. And Liverpool have some of the most dominant centre-backs in world football, let alone England.
From our perspective then, and we'll come to you on this one, Michael, what do you see, or do you see any players, particularly individuals, that could kind of be key to the way we're wanting to play?
I think, like, just to follow up on Ben's point about, I think the wide areas is where we're probably going to really have to exploit if we're going to win the game. Now we've seen in sort of big games, away games, he's played more with like a Dallo or a Mazraoui as the wing back. I would love to see Amadou play as the wing back. I think we just look so much better, going forward, creativity when we have a more attacking player out there. I do understand you're going away to Anfield. You maybe want a wee bit of a safety first approach by putting a fullback there. Fair enough, I do get that. But I think the big weakness in Liverpool's teams is behind the two fullbacks. That's where you can really, really exploit them. And I think with the relationship with Ahmad and Mbumo, I've kind of shown them glimpses in a few of the games. I think if we are to get a positive result, it's probably going to come down that our right hand side. To be fair,
That's it. Liverpool do look get-atable there, don't they? And that partnership with Ahmad and Mbumo has been kind of developing over the last couple of games. We saw it work really, really well against Sunderland. Andre, what else do you think might be key?
Well, I agree on Ahmad and Mbumo. I saw people criticizing them, but I've always, from the start, I always felt they're combining well together, and they bring a double factor X on that side. Both are unpredictable and can create things. But I hope two players can shine on Sunday. I hope Sesko can keep on his maybe goal scoring streak. I hope that's start of one. 2 goals in 2 games for us. It's a shame he didn't score with Slovenia. Maybe it would have helped his confidence. I was very, very, very pleased by Šeško's we have to say Šeško's link-up play versus Sunderland. So that's quite promising. And also, if we speak about promising, Senne Lammens. He's young, he's inexperienced, but I do hope he can start on Sunday because he immediately brought some security, some confidence to the defense. You could feel that. He did all the basics steadily, and he's been described by people from Antwerp who know him as very strong in his mind, strong enough to cope with the pressure. So I hope he could do that in such a game. It will be the litmus test for that.
That's true. He certainly looked very assured back there against Sunderland. How much of a difference does it make to the team having that presence at the back there? Ben, if you want to kind of come in on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive. Onana was good at times, especially with his shot stopping. He was quite a good reactive keeper at times, but he was too reactive. Lamont, you can look at him and you know what you're getting from him. He's a steady keeper. It's just those little bits that you know he will do correctly. He's the type of goalkeeper that you're going to go into the game and you know exactly what you're going to get out of him. When we had Bayindir and we had Onana, you didn't quite know what performance you were going to get. You never knew if they were just going to go and punch the ball in the back of their own net, for example, or if they were just going to stand in their 6-yard box, they were going to step out for one game. I mean, we saw Onana early into his United career get lobbed from the halfway line, for example, and then he just never seemed to leave his line after that. Lamont, for example, he will be aggressive. He uses his elbows quite well, and that's going to be quite key for Liverpool. We concede. It seems like every single season we concede to Liverpool from a corner, and that has also been our crux this season too. We've conceded quite a few, just from not even goalkeeping issues. It's just from people not trusting the goalkeeper. It's just those second guesses that when you're bringing in a goalkeeper that seems commanding, he talks a lot as well, which is something that impressed me, even just playing one match. Every single time something happened, he was talking. You could hear him the whole way. Just that little bit, I don't know, just assuredness behind the back line will help a lot, especially for a back line that we don't even know what we're going to be seeing from them because that back three seems to change every single week. But if you can get a steady head behind them, it will just go a long way to creating that partnership and just getting a run of just decent defensive performances together.
No, it would certainly help, wouldn't it? I suppose in terms of that leadership at the back as well, I think it's really important to highlight Matthijs de Ligt and the way that he started the season. Kind of seen him described as a warrior at the back in the early games this year. Just how good has he been?
I'm a big lover of Matthijs de Ligt. I mean, when he was at Ajax, I really wanted him at United. And when we had Ten Hag come in and be linked to all of these previous Ajax boys, I was hoping he'd come in quite early. He's somebody that just does things really well. He's, as you mentioned, he's just a warrior. He's a leader. He will crash into people. Sometimes it's a bit unorthodox. You kind of want that. You want strikers second guessing whether if they're going to take a heavy touch, they're going to get clattered, because it means that they focus so much on everything they're going to do. And it just, that second guess just gives you that little bit more time to react as a backline.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the let this see. You know, like last season was probably hard to judge some players, with the results were so erratic and injuries and the team was changing a lot. But like this season, he's came back in. He looks leaner, he looks fitter, he looks more mobile, and his aggression, on his headers and his tackling is just like, he's always been described as a leader since he's been like 18 years old, 17 years old at Ajax, and you can really see that coming through with him this season. Like he's is turning into a real important player for us.
Yeah, to me, it's simple. De Ligt and Bemo have been our best two players this season so far. That's just how good they are.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of players who've actually started the season quite well, even though results haven't been wonderful. I think heading into this weekend, what do we think a good result away at Anfield would be, given the fact that, as Ben pointed out earlier on, in our last 5 games there, we've been spanked 7-0 and 4-0 within that run. What would we accept? Andre, we'll come to you first.
I guess we will all settle for a draw, of course. But if we can win, we will take it. I would also like a clean sheet, if possible. 2 clean sheets in a row for Lamens would be nice.
It would be very nice. Michael?
If Andre, if we keep a clean sheet on Sunday, I would be very confident on us winning the game. I definitely fancy us to get at least one goal. There's definitely, I think there's goals there to be got at them. It's whether we can keep them out. I think it's going to be key. We have given up a lot. I think if you look at sort of statistics, we concede a lot less shots on our goal this season, but it's a lot of big chances in most games. So hopefully we can stop that on Sunday.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. It's whether we can be clinical enough when we do get the chances. I mean, thankfully, Šeško has managed to get a couple of what you'd call strikers' goals, kind of in and around the 6-yard box in the last couple of games, and I think something like that could be absolutely key. I wouldn't care if it went in off his backside, like as long as the ball ended up in the back of their net. I think I agree with you, Michael. Like if we can get a goal, we stand every chance of winning.
And I think that every time Šeško scored from his first chance, if I'm not mistaken, that's important for the confidence. And last season, I feel we've missed too many chances early, and that messed up with our games.
No, that's it. There's nothing more clinical than scoring your first shot, is there? Ben, what's your take on it?
Yeah, so as you guys have mentioned there, a clean sheet would be beautiful, and even scoring. Another upsetting stat for you. We've scored 4 goals in the last 10 years at Anfield. 2 of them came last season. Yeah. Our last 4 goal scorers at Anfield has been Martinez, Ahmad, Jesse Lingard and Wayne Rooney. If we can add a 5th person to that list, I'm seeing that as a win. I mean, if we can avoid conceding 7 like a few years ago, beautiful. I can see a lot of faces then.
Surely to God.
The thing is, Liverpool always seemed clinical against us. They always seem to get a penalty, and as we've already discussed, the referee decisions, I'm not fully confident that they won't get one again this season. I'm going to be happy if we just put in a performance, which a year into Amorim, it feels not great to still be saying. But I'm at that stage where we're just looking for shoots of progress. We need to be going to these sort of matches, and we need to be showing, maybe we're not going to get the result now, but we need to be showing signs that in the future, we should be going to these sort of teams and giving them games every single week. If we can show some signs of that, sure.
How fantastic would that be if Liverpool got a dodgy penalty and Lamens saved it?
Oh, that would be heavenly, wouldn't it?
He's got an incredible penalty saving record, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just what Ben was saying, with performance really. I think if it's a narrow defeat with a really good performance, I think most of us would be like, okay, fair enough. I can take that in the chin, because like we said, we've been to Anfield a few times and capitulated and got absolutely thumped out the gate. Whereas like last season, the 2-2, we were all, it felt like a win because the performance was really, really good. Now, I would still rather have a bad performance than take a scrappy 1-0 90th minute winner, but a good performance in an narrow defeat, I don't think wouldn't be the worst.
No, that's probably fair, probably reasonable. I think obviously none of us want to go there and be on the wrong end of another hiding. But as you say, a decent performance, hopefully a good result. We might not be smiling after the game, but hopefully we're not all crying afterwards either. But I suppose, kind of to wrap things up for today, let's head to, as a United fan of recent years, my favourite place, memory lane. What are some of our kind of favourite memories individually of United at Anfield? What are some of your favourite performances or memories or moments in Liverpool from down the years? Andre, do you want to start?
Yeah, just a side note about what you just said is we have to mention your own podcast, Retro Devil Pods. So that's why you have a soft tooth for memories. Well, as Benji said, we didn't get many happy memories recently at Anfield. One that sticks with me is from 2005, when we won there with a black jersey, and Rooney and Ronaldo and Rooney combined for a striking goal. And to be honest, that's the moment I realized they were the real deal. I realized, wow, they have something. We're in for a treat.
Excellent, Ben.
Yeah, so for me, like I said, I'm more of a modern day fan. So I've not had very many good memories when it comes to watching United travel to Anfield. Even when we were good, we still struggled. But for me, it has to be 2012, winning 2-1 at Anfield, Robin van Persie, and probably my favourite ever right back, Raphael, scoring a beauty, which is all he does. He never scored a bad goal. I'm convinced of it. Every single goal is either on the weak foot top ends or it's just an absolute belter. Winning that game and then going on to win the league that season, I don't think you can get very many better memories for Anfield, to be honest.
No, that's got to be right up there, top of the tree, doesn't it? And yeah, little Raphael didn't score many, but goodness me, when he did, they were absolute peaches. Michael, what's yours?
There's been a few, to be fair. I remember in the 90s, a couple of good 3-1 wins, different times, but probably I think I did tell this story there recently in the group with John O'Shea at the last minute winner. Now, I was actually a student in Liverpool for those 3 years, where 07, 08, 09. So, going out every week watching a really, really good Man United team, and John O'Shea scoring the winner in the last minute in a room full of Scousers, and I, after one too many beverages, got up on the table and started singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," which just said didn't go down too well, to be fair.
That is
Yeah,
absolutely glorious.
Yeah, that was an ecstatic moment, such a relief, an explosion of relief. And John, what about yours?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Johnny O'Shea's one was fantastic after the battle. Rooney having to go off injured early on, Scholes getting sent off for petulance. Basically, that's up there. But I think my favorite one would probably be 2002, the Diego Forlan. See, he'd had his struggles in the early part of his United career, but if he wasn't already a cult hero by that point, those 2 goals at Anfield when Jerzy Dudek had an absolute howler, let the ball squirm through him, Massimo Taibi style, but yeah, just squirted the ball through him and left an open goal for Forlan to tap in. And then the second one, yeah, Diego Rasper from the edge of the box out on the right, and it just went straight through the goalie. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And hopefully we can get a bit more like that this weekend.
And of course, we have to mention Juanfield, the game Mata won nearly by himself, and that fabulous second goal, that bicycle goal, was pure magic.
So, of course, honorable mention to 2014, Gerrard coming on the pitch. 40 seconds later, walking straight off of it again. What a day.
What a day.
That was, yeah, equally magnificent. It was Ander Herrera he stamped on, wasn't it?
Yeah, an Herrera, yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Well, hopefully on Sunday evening we will all be reflecting on another magnificent Manchester United performance and victory at Anfield like the ones we've just been discussing. I think that will probably just about do it for Sensible United podcast today. We will be back next week to review United at Anfield. We'll look ahead to the Brighton game as well. Before we all disappear for just now, Ben, where can people follow you if they would like to do so?
It is at Just a Footy Fan. It'll be on Twitter. Basically, where I do most of my stuff. It should be linked on one of our many posts somewhere.
Cool. Michael, what about yourself? Where can people follow you, get in touch with you if they would like to?
So just on X at Rational United. So again, since the channels went live today, I think I've now maybe 30, 40 new followers after today. So thank everyone very much for that.
Andre, what about yourself?
Well, my handle on Twitter, because I still say Twitter, sorry, is Eric Cantona with just one C. It's leaner. And we have to say a word about our friend Tabo, who disappeared. He was with us, and sadly, I guess his connection went away, so that's why you didn't hear him after a while. And you're John. Where do we find you?
Yeah, so if you want to find me personally, I am on Twitter and YouTube at Retro Devils Pod. It's a kind of a United nostalgia kind of a thing. And of course, if you want to follow us and this show, it's at Sensible MUFC. But that'll do it for just now. Thank you very much to everyone for listening and tuning in. We'll talk to you again next week. Cheers for now.